Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Going to be talking about every movie and show I watched last week. Let's get into it. Let's start it off with my least favorite of the two seasons of TV that I watched last week. Starting it off with Volume 2 of Stranger Things Season 5, which I must say is probably some of my least favorite of the entire show. I'm not going to talk about it much. We'll do a recap probably next week. But overall, Stranger Things Season 5, it's kind of an up and down season. This is definitely the most, I don't know. I feel like this is the most up and down season. Pun not intended. But I don't know. There's a lot of moments that I do enjoy. And there's a lot of moments that I just think are interesting. And I feel like there's also a lot of moments that are going to be forgotten in the finale. Truthfully, I feel like there's a lot going on right now that just aren't going to really matter come finale time. And we'll see. I mean, we've got 2 hours to wrap it up, so I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is kind of the problem I've always had with film series and shows. If you don't know where you're going, I don't know why you just continue to pump stuff out sometimes. I don't think the Duffer Brothers really had obviously they didn't have a plan of where they were going after season 1. They originally thought it was just going to be one season, and then, season 2 and 3 come out. They seem like they have a plan. 4 seemed to have a big plan, but by the end of 4, 5, I guess I should say. By the start of 5, it didn't really seem like much that was coming from season 4 was going to come to fruition in season 5, and I feel like that's been the case so far anyways. I don't know, I've always talked about it, like, if I ever make a film series or a TV show, I want to try to make sure that I've got everything planned, I want to make sure I've got everything planned, so hopefully there's no continuity issues, which, that's just the case in most media, unfortunately. Not the Duffer Brothers' fault, that's just the way that stuff is written and stuff is filmed. So, you get new ideas, you get creative, you want to change things, you come up with new things, whatever it may be. So, whatever. Let's move on to the actual show that I finished and watched this week, which was The End of an Era. Taylor Swift's The End of an Era docuseries, which is, I think, the only docuseries I've ever watched, but I had a really, really great time with this. Obviously, I get to watch this with Mel. Mel cried, I think, at literally every episode, and it was fun to see her going through that experience and the behind the scenes, and obviously I learned a lot, but even Mel, the super mega Swiftie, she learned a lot as well, which was nice, and I think that's a great behind the scenes look at the tour. And Mel did get to go to the tour in Toronto last year. She had a wonderful time, so yeah, that was a lot of fun, and this is a great series. I would highly recommend it, even if you're not a Swiftie. 89 out of 100. So let's move on to the movies. Let's go. My least favorite movie of the week was Dear Santa. This movie is insane. This movie's just fucking wild. Ranked it a 16 out of 100. Definitely not my favorite watch of the year, that's for sure. Let's quickly move on to where it starts to get a little bit better. A big jump up next is 5 centimeters per second, which I ranked at 63 out of 100. One of my themes for the weekend, I was going to say the week, but no, specifically just the weekend, was to watch more foreign films. One of my goals this year was to watch 75 foreign films, and heading into this week, I think I was at 59. I'm now up to 70, I think. Or heading into this month, maybe I was at 59. Sorry, and then I'm now up to 70. So I've definitely done good with that. I've got to watch 5 more in the next 3 days, which I will do. I hope that's my goal. Anyways, 5 centimeters per second. I really thought was okay. It's truthfully one of the most beautifully visually stunning animated films I've ever seen, but this movie itself isn't anything too special, I don't think, and the ending just hurt my feelings. 63 out of 100. Let's move on to The Ugly Stepsister, which I ranked a 67 out of 100. This is a decent movie. It's, the insane standards a woman, or the insane pressure a woman feels to fill those beauty standards is really sad. And I feel bad for women that feel that way, or that feel like they need to, meet these beauty standards, because it's not fair and it's ridiculous. And seeing the pain and the what's the word I'm looking for? The pain and the desire, I guess, to feel the need to look a certain way in order to please someone else is sad, And I wish everyone could be comfortable with themselves. I'm personally not. Most people aren't, but it's just kind of the way it goes. Anyways, I ranked this a 67 out of 100. I thought it was decent. Let's move on to When Marnie Was There, which I ranked a 71 out of 100. Thought this is a good movie. The ending really sold it for me. I really liked the ending. I thought this movie was just going to be a full-fledged queer-coded movie. And even though it still kind of is, it definitely gets away from that by the end because of the obvious twist at the end. I won't say anything about, spoilers. I'll give you a spoiler warning. Obviously, when we find out that Anna's grandmother is Marnie, is very different than what I was expecting. So, yeah, still enjoy this. Ranked it a 71 out of 100. Let's move on to Weathering with You. Another beautiful film, ranked at a 72 out of 100. Makoto Shinkei's films are some of the most beautiful anime films I've seen. I think out of the 4 movies of his that I've seen, Suzume, Your Name, Weathering with You, and another one that I'm forgetting. Anyways, they're absolutely gorgeous. And this is no different. Weathering with You is also a gorgeous film, ranked at a 72 out of 100. Now, I didn't watch much for Christmas movies this week like I kind of planned to or hoped to. This year again, I think I watched more Christmas movies than last year, but still not enough, unfortunately. But let's move on to The Santa Claus, which I ranked a 78 out of 100. And this was also my 800th different movie of the year, which is pretty cool. I'm going to get close to 850 movies, but I'm not going to hit that goal. I'm about 15 movies away, I think, and with only 3 days left. That's just simply not going to happen. I'm not going to be watching 5 movies a day for the next 3 days, even though I did just do that today. I did watch 5 movies today, but again, that's just not going to happen. So, nonetheless, I ranked this a 78 out of 100. I thought it was really solid. I haven't revisited this in a long time. I've never ranked it on Letterboxd either. It's been years since I've watched this movie, but I had a good time with it. 78 out of 100. Let's move on to Pokemon The Rise of Darkrai, which I ranked an 80 out of 100. This was one of my favorites when I was a kid, alongside Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Both of these movies, I think, are 2 of the best Pokemon movies have to offer. And yeah, this is really great. 80 out of 100. I had a really great time with this. It was nice to revisit. I love the Diamond and Pearl movies. Very, very fun. Let's move on to I'm Still Here, which I ranked an 81 out of 100. And this is a dreadfully depressing movie, unfortunately. It's a very well made movie. Fernando Torres definitely has probably the best performance of 2024. Shout out the Oscars. But yeah, this is a really sad movie. And when I learned that this was a true story by the end of the movie, as the credits are basically rolling, I felt even more, just a wave of depression fall over me even more, and that's what really broke my heart. And yeah, it really showcased a very sad side of, the military dictatorship, or just a dictatorship in general in any country. And yeah, that really sucked. It was hard to watch at moments, just because of the seeing the experience that these people actually went through. It's sad. So anyways, I ranked it an 81 out of 100. It's been something I've been wanting to watch all year since the Oscars. Finally got to watch it this week. I ranked it an 81 out of 100. Let's move on to Lost in Starlight, which I think is one of the newer Netflix originals, and this is a gorgeous anime movie. This is, honestly, it's become one of my favorites of the year. It's absolutely stunning. It's mesmerizing. I love I think what's great about animated movies, and especially, anime films, is how much freedom they not only have, but also are using. And I really appreciate that because sometimes animated films just aren't that creative. And I love that about Japanese and Korean anime. I believe this is a Korean anime. And yeah, I'm Chinese anime too. Just in general, Asian anime is just far better than most American and Canadian, I guess, North American animated films. But I really enjoyed this, ranked an 83 out of 100. And yeah, let's move on to Marty Supreme, perhaps the biggest movie in the world right now, ranked in an 85 out of 100. And this is a great movie. I really had a fun time with this movie, although I did feel a little underwhelmed, just because I've heard so much good things about it. And, I was a little worried going into this movie. What if it was going to be like One Battle After Another, where it wasn't really a movie I was excited to go see. I wasn't rushing to the theater to see. And then I ended up going to see it because of all the praise I've heard about it. And I like it, but what if I don't like it? And I feel kind of more towards the latter with Marty Supreme, even though I do like this film. I ranked it an 85 out of 100. Again, I just felt like a little underwhelmed leaving the theater. So I would like to rewatch it. I would love to watch this in IMAX. Sadly, my city only has one IMAX theater, and it's going to be Avatar for forever until something pretty big comes out. So that kind of sucks, but hopefully I'll get to see it in IMAX. I don't know if I will, but you never know. Let's move on to my top 3 of the week, starting off with Encanto, which is a movie I haven't watched in like 2.5 years. And when I first watched this movie, I rated it a 79 out of 100, raised it up to a 91 out of 100 this time, so quite a big boost, quite a big jump. Watched it with Mel, really enjoyed it, had a good time with it. Like I said, I ranked it a 91 out of 100. Mel was very emotional watching this. She loved the music. I think the music is very solid, of course, as well. And similarly to how I felt the first time watching this film, I just felt like the ending is sort of abrupt. I feel like we're really getting going into things and then the movie just kind of ends. I didn't feel it as much this time as I did last time, but I don't know. Again, I just felt like the ending felt a little abrupt, but nonetheless, I still enjoyed it, so why am I complaining? 91 out of 100. Let's move on to how I started the week with The Holdovers, which I ranked a 94 out of 100. I didn't change my rating for this. Stayed the same at a 94 out of 100. It's a really, really beautiful movie. It's a very heartwarming movie about the holiday season and Christmas and family and loss, and I don't know, it's great, and I feel like everyone can relate to this movie, and I think this is a Christmas movie everyone should watch at least once because it is genuinely gorgeous, and ranked at a 94 out of 100. So let's move on to my favorite watch of the week, and if you know me, it's Into the Spider-Verse. My favorite watch of the week, a 100 out of 100 as always. And yeah, it's my favorite Christmas movie. Whether you want to call it a Christmas movie or not, I'm going to, for the sake of the vibes. I did watch this on Christmas Day, and yeah, it's a great movie. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful holiday season. Happy early New Year in a few days, and I'll see you guys next year. Bye-bye.